This is a quick video covering the Polar Plotter project you can see here. A small project that me, Dad and brother worked on over the Christmas holidays. So a quick overview of what this thing is. This thing basically plots dots on a piece of paper. It's got a few moving parts to make that work. So we've got this plate here. If I spin this round, we can see this plate can spin and it's got a motor underneath that lets that happen. We've got this gantry type thing here that I can move back and forth. Again, this is driven by a pulley down here and a motor over there as well. And that lets this pen move sort of left and right. And then finally, just on here, you can see we've got these little solenoids. Basically, these allow the pen to be punched. There's a pen just here, like a Sharpie. This pen can be punched onto paper on top of this plate. And then if you sort of program all of these things together with some electronics over there, you can produce an image. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on at a high level. Okay, so to quickly cover the electronics, we've got a couple of wires coming in here. They provide power. We've got this board, which does pretty much all the heavy lifting. This little Wi-Fi module here, this can speak to the laptop over there and basically drive all of the different motors, tell them what to do. It's the brains of the operation, basically. This module then connects up and over to these motor drivers. Yeah, the motor drivers themselves are connected to this motor here to move the pulley, and then another one underneath the plate that spins that round. So that's why there's two of these. And then down at the front here, you can just see a little bit of circuitry to drive the solenoid itself. This thing's on a bit of a separate circuit because it needs 12 volts for these solenoids. So yeah, we sort of deal with that down here. And it's just a little MOSFET that switches the solenoid off and on. So we've got our image set up over here. Nice picture of Jake from Adventure Time, of course. I've just done some twiddling around with the settings now to kind of get something that looks hopefully quite nice. We're basically just going to give it a whirl and see how it looks. So the plate will start spinning around and then we'll basically start plotting points onto the paper, hopefully. I can't tell if it's doing anything. I think unfortunately I've left this quite a while and the pen has started to dry out a bit. Well, we're getting some points now. I think it maybe took a bit of time for the ink to come through. So you can see the plate is spinning round and then we draw only over this section of the plate here, but we can still cover all of the surface of the paper just with this one area being drawn to effectively, which is kind of cool. Go. Okay, so here is a couple of the, where's my spoon? Where is my spoon? Okay, so here's a couple of the actual pictures that it's produced. We've got probably the best of the bunch so far, which is this one here. Yeah, the pen is a little bit heavy in places. We can see there's quite thick lines just around here, but overall pretty good and everything's in the right place. You can see an earlier failure of this one as well. We had some problems where the plate could sometimes get a bit stuck. And so you would stop turning at the right speed and you get these horrible mangled versions of the characters here, which is lovely. Same sort of similar thing happened down here. We've got Homer, but he's horribly mutated. And then another one here, which is a nice bit of Wallace and Gromit. Again, the pen is probably laying on a bit thick here. We could do with tuning the settings a bit more to get something that's a little thinner. That gives you an idea of how it's working so far. Hey, so lastly, I thought we'd take a quick look at the software that produces the points that we're going to print out. Here it is. It's just a simple OpenGL application that draws a few meshes and plots some points down that we can use to visualize what's going to get printed. Over here, you can choose various images. It will support any JPEGs or PNGs, and it will convert them into black and white when they're loaded in. You can change the sampling pattern, so it's going to plot down points in various different patterns. There's some other settings here as well to help just shuffling the points around and getting more aesthetically pleasing images. So we've got this draw route setting here. This is the route that the printer will take as it draws all the points out. Because we've got the spiral pattern right now, it's just drawing all of the points in a spiral, but this isn't necessarily particularly efficient. So you can also switch on this greedy pathing mode here, and it will try and calculate a more efficient route. We've got a few dials here that you can use to control how big the points are. We had limited success with changing the radius of the points when we actually print by hammering the pen down harder or softer. It didn't work that well, but the software does support it. And lastly, to actually send the points over to the device, we've got this other panel here. We can connect to the device over the Wi-Fi through TCP. When we hit print here, we'll pack all of the points we can see into a much smaller format and send them over the Wi-Fi to the hardware. Once they've been received, then we don't need the application anymore. It can be closed down and the print can just slowly work through them, printing one at a time. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, hope you found it interesting. Thanks for watching and see you next time.